Hey, ladies. I'm so glad that you're here to just take part in the 5-day Healthy Mama Challenge. And this truly is just a whole body health. If we just do exercise and diet, now that's good. We don't need to ignore that. But we also need to really focus on the whole body. And that will give us total health. So I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Olivia Cagle, and I am owner of Fitabulous Moms. I'm a prenatal postnatal corrective exercise specialist. I also help women to restore their diastasis. That's the separation of the left and right abdominal walls. A little background of my nutrition. I was mentored by an herbalist for 4 years, and I was taught how food and herbs can help heal the body. And I was just amazed on just the testimonies that my family has alone in this. So I've been doing this for about 16 years, studying nutrition and just being trained in it by my herbalist. The other thing is, let's see, I'm also a blended family. We have 7 kids total, which range from age 24, 20, 20, 18, 17, 14, and then we have a 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old little girl together. So that's just a little bit about me. And one of my passions is just really studying all about health, spiritually, physically, and emotionally, and getting to the root cause of issues and not band-aiding symptoms. So let's just move on. And this may be a longer day, but it's because I combined sleep and stress together, because these two things go hand in hand. They just affect so much. So stress and sleep are often really an overlooked part of health, but they're very, very important for how we feel and how our bodies are going to heal. And if you're under stress or you don't get enough sleep, it's going to be really hard to lose weight, even if you're working out and eating right. It also affects our hormones. And a lack of sleep and too much stress can make the difference between good health and poor health. Like I said, even if all other factors are in place, diet, supplements, and exercise. I do believe it's important to do all of this together. Like I said, whole body health. So the sleep and the, lowering your stress level, our thought lives, diet, supplements, and exercise. And I'm really preaching to the choir here on sleep because I don't think I've slept a whole night through since my little baby girl was born. So I don't get a lot of sleep. I do try. And some weeks are better than others. So reading this has really creating this for you has put a fire under me to try to start implementing some more strategies to help my little girl sleep more. So sleep helps modify the timing and secretion of certain hormones in the blood. So if you're having trouble sleeping, cortisol may be releasing at the wrong times, and it should be releasing in the morning when we wake up, and it helps us to feel woke up and have energy. So sleep is your body's repair time. And just at night, if you miss a night or two of sleep, that can already just impair mental ability and alter your hormone levels and give insulin levels of a pre-diabetic state. And here are some side effects of not enough sleep. Now, there's going to be a lot of suggestions that I give you to help you with sleep. And then when we talk about stress, the same thing. I'm not saying that you have to do all of those. Maybe just pick out 2 or 3 that you would like to start implementing, okay? So the side effects of not enough sleep are they affect our moods, and they can impair memory, thyroid problems. So the sleep cycle controls the T3 and T4. And when you don't have enough sleep, your body starts producing inflammation that's going to interfere with that thyroid production. It affects our immune systems and our body doesn't heal properly. It can impair kidney function. I already talked about the weight gain. It can raise chances of heart disease and put yourself at risk for heart disease. Let me take a break for 1 second and just tell you that 2 of the number 1 causes of illness right now and diseases, it's stress and it's leaky gut. And we're going to dive deeper into leaky gut on another day. But for today, like I said, sleep and stress kind of go hand in hand, because if you don't have enough sleep, that can stress you out. If you have too much stress, it can cause insomnia. So if we can get both of these rolled in together, that's really great. And I think that these are a great place to start. If you don't have enough sleep, it can cause you to crave carbs and sugar because the hunger hormone leptin is increased. You can have premature aging, and even with kiddos, it may be affecting their behavior or cause them possibly to have ADHD. Hair loss elevates the stress hormone cortisol and an increased risk of depression. So again, that's showing how sleep and stress can kind of go together. And here are some strategies to promote better sleep. So wake up and go to bed at the same time will help keep your hormone cycle regular. I am not great at this, but it's something that I can really work towards. Don't drink water 2 hours before bed. Eat a high-protein, high-fat snack a few hours before bed. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. Stretching for bed, or maybe taking an Epsom salt bath would be really great. You can actually put some relaxing music in there or read a great book. If your husband or somebody else lives with you, you can have them give you a massage, or even give yourself a massage with a home massage kit. So before bed, so you can kind of relax and release stress. And also, I'm going to send this to y'all, or I'll give you the link to this. So if you feel like you're trying to take notes, or don't worry, you'll see this again, okay? So if you pray or meditate, that's another great way to help you sleep before you go to bed. Avoid light as much as possible after the sun goes down, such as your TV and your cell phones. And I can be bad about that. So that's something that I need to work on. Keep your temperature around 65 to 68 degrees, so below 70. Try white noise, kind of like rains and ocean sounds. Sleep in complete darkness. Chamomile tea, that kind of helps me. I love to drink my herbal teas in the evenings. And stop eating at least 4 hours before bedtime. Try to eat at your nighttime meal protein, veggies, and healthy fats. Okay, so now here are some food and supplements for sleep. Cod liver oil or fish oil, that's great for promoting hormone production and improving sleep. Coconut oil and healthy fats, they are going to give your body the building blocks to make sleep hormones. So some healthy fats are avocados, organic or pasture-raised meats, eggs, and grass-fed butter. Magnesium is very important in our diets because so many people are deficient in this. There's a lot of bonuses to magnesium, but the one we're talking about today can help you sleep. Also, collagen or gelatin. Make sure it's from grass-fed sources. And what I like to do is I like to dissolve 1 tablespoon of gelatin in my herbal tea. And then I also take another supplement that has collagen in it. And Great Lakes is a great gelatin to get. You can buy it on Amazon and probably even Thrive Market. That's THRIVE. You can find some great prices on those. Also, some high antioxidant foods. Those are important for hormone production and removal of toxins that actually can impede sleep. Okay, so that was sleep. So just pick maybe 2 or 3 of those that can help you with your sleep. You don't have to do all of them. And maybe you don't have problems with sleep. But for the ones that do, I really recommend putting into practice some of those. And in the Facebook group, you can just kind of tell us, comment, and let us know which ones you're going to put into action. All right, so let's talk about stress for a minute. And I just want to give you a little story about my husband. Okay, so we are polar opposites. He is not into health and nutrition. Well, we're polar opposites in this. And he doesn't eat good. He doesn't really work out. But the man is not stressed ever. Not really. He is very balanced, and he's really never sick. And nothing really bothers him much. So I know that has something to do with this. So let's just talk about what stress does to our bodies. Chronic stress keeps stress hormones, the stress hormone cortisol, elevated, and that causes weight gain. It also suppresses our immune system. It can put us at a higher risk for heart disease or cancer, and it can shorten our lifespan. It interferes with our body's ability to properly digest food and assimilate food. And it lowers our insulin sensitivity. The same with sleep. It can give us headaches, cause insomnia, dry mouth. It's been known to cause infertility, higher incidence of allergies, muscle pain, or twitching, menstrual troubles. I have dealt with this before when I've gone through stress where I don't start my cycle when I'm supposed to. I've also been, at one point in my life, really stressed, and when I was on my cycle, I would bleed through everything, all the protection that I put on in 30 minutes. It was horrible, but it was because of the stress. We can also have an increased incidence of eczema and psoriasis, and slower healing from illness, 40% more. Okay, so think about that. If you don't have enough sleep and you're stressed, so sleep causes our bodies not to heal properly because that is the repair time for our body. And then when we're stressed, it causes our body to heal 40% more slower. Okay. So if we're having a trouble with both of these, our immune system is maybe shot. So how to deal with stress. And there's a couple scriptures in the Bible, and one of them says, cast your care on the Lord. He knows what stress does to our body. And then in Matthew, he talks about do not worry about tomorrow. And he goes on to talk about not worrying, because I know he knows what stress does to our bodies. And one of the ways, lots of ways we can deal with stress is I have really gone through this from some past abuse, is forgiveness for others. But one of the big things is forgiveness of self. And when you do this, it's like it lifts a heavy weight off of your chest. It's the best feeling in the world just to forgive somebody and not worry about them anymore, and to take them off your hook and to put them on God's hook. Because ultimately, it's just poison we're putting into our bodies. And so once you can do that, a lot of people have trouble forgiving themselves. So those are some of the things that you can try to work out. I know that's not an easy thing sometimes, but it is a huge stress causer. You can also do a gratitude journal, write all the things you're thankful for, and go over them and read them. prayer and meditation. I like to meditate on scripture a lot. God says to think on these things. They're pure and lovely. And again, he knows why we're supposed to think on these things. It doesn't do us any good to worry. I don't know about you, but I have a hard time. I do this to myself a lot, and I don't give myself enough time. And so I'm rushing around a lot to get going, especially with Bree now and my little girl. So I'm trying to learn to give myself enough time so I'm not rushing around. Make time to unwind and have some me time. And that might be reading a book, going for a walk, taking a bath, just relaxing. Don't worry about what others are doing. And that's kind of a nice way to say just mind your own business. And I have to remind myself of that, because when we worry about what other people are doing, that just affects our joy. And we don't need to do that. We just need to worry about what's going on in our life. I mean, yes, we can help others if they're going through a hard time. But if, we're sticking our nose in other people's business where it shouldn't be, it really does cause stress on us. Don't worry about what others think or say. This is a biggie. We live in a culture where we compare ourselves, or maybe we even judge other people. But ultimately, it really doesn't matter what others think or say. It only matters what God thinks of us, okay? So those are some things you can practice. I'm not saying that some of these things can happen overnight, but you can start working on them today. Find a routine that works for you. Don't think if you're a right-brained person and creative and all over the place, don't think you have to create a routine that a left-brained person does. That was the trouble I had. I used to think, well, gosh, I just must not have it together because, from 8 to 10, I don't do this and I don't do that. Organization is not one of my strong suits. It's just not. But that's because of my personality. And I took an assessment test called the Kolbe test. It's Kolbe. And I recommend anybody looking into that. You do have to pay for it, but I think it's so worth it because it freed me so much to know how I get things done. And I'm actually a last minute person. So today I finished this webinar and I'm getting it out. Now, I don't like to cut it this last minute, but that's just kind of how my schedule's been. But I'm okay with that. Other people need to plan a month in advance, 2 months in advance. That's just not who I am, and I'm okay with that. You've got to know who you are, who God created you to be uniquely, and find what works for you. And don't try to be who somebody else is, okay? Because only you can make the best you. All right, so our mind and body, they are connected, and it really starts with our thoughts. And this is one of the things I'm so passionate about is our thought life. We need to get rid of the toxic thinking, and we need to focus on the good things. And like I said about that scripture talking about think on these things, okay? Thoughts influence every decision, word, action, and physical reaction that we make. The more you think on a bad thought or a memory, the bigger it grows. And the sooner you can cut that thought off, the less time you have for it to grow. Thoughts are actually real physical things in our brain. And this is going to affect our concentration during the day and sleep at night and can make you feel sick. Okay, so again, that goes hand in hand with sleep. What we think influences every aspect of who we are and how we feel physically. This is so exciting to me. It's a new field called epigenetics, and I don't know if you've heard about it, but studies are showing that we can actually create new neural pathways in our brains and strengthen existing ones. It's being proven scientifically that our thoughts have as much, and if not more, influence over our genes than even exercise. So that means we don't have to become victims. So if there's mental depression in your family, you don't have to do that because you can actually change your brain, which that's called neuroplasty. And we can change our brain now with our thoughts. So our state of mind is quite literally determining our mental and physical health. So pick some things between those, 2 or 3 things that you want to implement today. Be aware of the thoughts, be aware of the words you say, because our words go into our bodies. And this is another thing about kind of forgiving yourself, but it's talking good about yourself. You know, our mind eavesdrops on what our mouth is saying about ourselves all the time, and we tend to believe what our mouths say. So I encourage you today to start speaking life over yourself, to start speaking good things, to start saying the things that God says about you and who He says you are. And you'll start believing that. And the stress, that actually helps stress go away, because we are happy with who we are. We trust who God is because we trust how He made us. And that's pretty much all I have for today. I'm trying to go through it a little fast because I don't want to take up your time. We're all busy moms. And but something that I wanted to also give you as homework, because we're going to be talking about gut health and overgrowth yeast. So working with a lot of women, I've discovered that, well, all of us have leaky gut symptoms, okay? And those symptoms are getting band-aided, and it's not healing the leaky gut or getting rid of the overgrown yeast, and which is called Candida. One of the ways that you can actually test to see if you have overgrown yeast is to do a spit test. And so you would fill a glass up with water halfway, okay? And if you spit in the glass and the spit stays in the water, you're good. If it starts, and you want to do it in a see-through glass so you can watch what your spit does, you can watch, and if it starts growing legs down into the water and you'll see it, then you more than likely have overgrown yeast, which also goes hand in hand with leaky gut. And you're supposed to do that for 6 days straight. So for this challenge, in the morning when you wake up, before you take anything to drink, any food, before you brush your teeth, I just highly recommend you do the spit test, okay? And in the mornings, and then we can talk about it. I think the last day of the challenge is when we're going to go over all of that. But I hope that you enjoyed this, even though I went kind of fast, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to share in the group. All right, I'll talk to you later. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.